So you did a mock draft. We'll take a look at a couple of the picks. First, at first round, second pick overall, you go Cam Ward. Tools to become a franchise quarterback, ceiling among the league's best if he can get there. Great arm talent. Um, so when you look at Ward, and the thing that scares me about Ward, I know he has a high ceiling. Man, his floor is awfully low. There's a wide variance in the range of outcomes here.
Yeah, and that's why the week before this mock draft, I did a full in-depth draft profile on Cam Ward, and I said all these nice things, and at the end, I even said I would still hesitate to take him at 2 because these lows and the concerns in that floor, it's kind of terrifying. I mean, there's a lot of Jameis Winston comps. I think he's a better athlete than Jameis was coming out of Florida State, but there's a lot of those comps. And after having seen that, I know a lot of Browns fans are going to be like, oh, I just saw that. I don't really want to go there. But for me, when I was looking at this quarterback class and looking about the idea of taking one there at 2, I'm looking at these guys in the playoffs these last couple of weeks. And my thing is, you got to have a special arm talent. I think some kind of special talent that can put you amongst the elite if you really want to compete for a championship. And I think that Cam Ward's pure arm talent. Now, I'm not talking about he overall quarterback play, exactly who he is completely as a player, but as arm talent, I think he comes into the league around top 10. I think he has that special of an arm. Now, like you said, the floor is very low. There is a lot of, if you look up the definition of gunslinger, you are going to find his picture in the dictionary. Like, there's a lot of and some of his good plays he is not going to get away with in the NFL. So there's a lot of coaching there, some sloppy footwork. He likes to bail a little bit too early out of structure. But I did think he took some major steps in structure this year at Miami. I think he continued to get better even as his 5th year as a collegiate starter. But my thing is, I'm still very hesitant there and I still lean Abdul Carter. But if you're like, hey, we know we can coach up some of those mental sides of things, the physical tools are off the charts with Cam Ward.
All right, second round, you haven't taken a defensive tackle, Walter Nolan from Mississippi. 30 quarterback pressure, 6 sacks, pressure, or pass win rate, 10.9%. What do you like about him?
Well, wasn't I? Don't I look smart because he then went and dominated some early Senior Bowl? And one time, every once in a while, I get one right. He goes and has a really good Senior Bowl. He's so sudden and explosive off the line of scrimmage. And you talk about, a lot of times with defensive linemen, we really talk about the pass rush and stuff. He's 290, somewhere in that range. He's a little bit undersized for the fact that he's actually a dominant run defender as well. He's just so powerful and strong and quick where he can shoot double teams, fly through the gap, whether it's to make a play against the run or to rush the quarterback, pushing things vertically. I think his skill set would really. I had talked to a friend of mine, Bill Sparks, a draft analyst, who had said, I think I like getting a defensive tackle more than an edge because instead of the guy being on the other side of Myles Garrett, he's right next to him. And they're both these kind of special, explosive, off the line athletes that can do some really good things. I just think that he's got a relentless motor, good athleticism, hands. His technique is really good with his hands, and I think if you can develop a little bit more pass rush counters, because a lot of times if he doesn't win with his quickness and he tries to shoot the gap and swipe the offensive lineman's hands away. If he gets caught up, he doesn't really have a ton of counters. So I think you need to kind of work on him, but I think that's something Jim Schwartz could take care of.
All right, before we let you go, we're going to take a look at your fourth round pick. In the third round, you haven't taken a tackle and a safety. Fourth round pick, a running back, Jarquez Hunter from Auburn. What is it that when you look at Hunter, you kind of mentioned explosive running back, quickly reaches top speed. What does he project like, do you think, in the NFL?
Yeah, I'm a really big fan in these wide zone scheme of guys that have good visions and patience, and I think that Jacques Hunter has those sorts of things. You kind of I look at like early 2020 and stuff like that, like what the Browns were doing with Nick Chubb and the way that you need in that system, you need your blocks to set up, and you need the running back to understand what's happening in front of him in a quick manner and then to take advantage of those things. And I think Hunter does that. Yeah, around 200 pounds. But I think he has enough contact balance to where if you just try to, lower your shoulder and knock him over, he does a good job to recover and not just go down um, with an arm tackle or something of that nature. But I think he just really fits this scheme where he's smart and just patient, and he sees the lane, and his acceleration is just really quick. So there it is. Got to go. I'm out the door, and I think he would just fit really well in the scheme.